The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, Money Masters and Treasure Hunters. Welcome to the October 17th wonderful Wednesday edition of today's Opening Bell on The Trader's Edge. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, and thanks so much for joining me, folks. I absolutely treasure your presence here today, and my outcome is to help you to become a better money master and to provide you with tools so that you can lead an inspired life. Because leading an inspired life, folks, that is what it's all about. So let's go take a look at one of our tools. I love this tool, and so will you. In fact, you probably use it each and every day. This tool, honesty, is the best policy. Now, how old do you think that tool is, folks? Pretty old. I've got a story here. In fact, somebody made it pretty famous. He was born in the 1540s, I believe. I'll let you know who that is. Maybe say, something to think about. Honesty, folks, is the best policy. So I'm reminded of this story here. It's a story of a tribal chief who decided to test a young man that he had chosen to be his successor. Now, the chief asked the successor to do the following. He asked him to prepare 2 meals for him. One meal contained the finest ingredients in the land. The second meal, the exact opposite, the worst ingredients in the land. Now, the chief sat down to eat his first meal, and the first meal was sliced cow tongue with vegetables. It's actually pretty good if you've never had it out there. Now, the chief was absolutely delighted with this meal, and he asked the young man, he said, "Why did you choose these ingredients?" His reply was, "The tongue is one of the finest parts of our being. It can speak wonderful words of truth that can help people grow and prosper. The right words can give our people courage, and they can bolster folks' integrity." Needless to say, the chief was pretty darn impressed with this young lad. And a few days later, the chief sat down to eat his second meal to find that it was the exact same ingredients of the first meal. Something to think about. Now, the chief asked the young man, "Why did you prepare the exact same meal twice?" The young man answered this. He said, the tongue can be the best part, but it also can be the worst part. You see, the tongue can speak words of anger, words of discouragement that can tear people down and rob them of their hope. It can weave deceit. It can speak untruths, and it can cause disharmony for the entire village. The tongue, more than any weapon, can destroy our village. The chief knew he had found his leader, folks. Honesty absolutely is the best policy. That's what it's all about here at TFNN. And if you didn't know who it was that actually coined that phrase, it was the great Miguel de Cervantes. He was a playwright. You probably know his play, Don Quixote. That's what he's most famous for out there. Good Spaniard out there. Honesty is the best policy. So let's go give an honest assessment of our markets out here. Right now we've got futures trading up. We're watching the ES Mini. That's what we've got on my screen. That's trading out at 1452. If you're listening to us on the radio, thank you so much for doing it. Maybe it's your mobile device or your iPad. By using tfnn.mobi, you can always catch an archive of this show on Channel 9 as we take a look at TigerTV on Channel 9, of course, as we take a look at the rest of the futures markets out here. Dow futures up about 11, fair value off, so the Dow should open down just a bit this morning. NASDAQ futures off. That's all about Intel and IBM. We'll take a look at those equities. They're trading down this morning here. Intuitive Surgical getting the kibosh. I believe that's down about $26 or so. We'll certainly take a look at that out there. Of course, speaking of down, you got King Dollar. King Dollar trading down 37 ticks right now, out at 79.09. King Dollar trading down 37 ticks. Gold trading up $1.50. Silver trading up a nickel right now. What's that all about? Light sweet crude trading up 52 cents, $92.61. Of course, it's all about the Queen. We'll take a look at the currency markets as well. FTSE here, just slightly positive, up 5 points. FTSE up 28, about 0.5% over in Asia last night. A little bit of a celebration, a continued celebration over in Japan. The Nikkei being up 1 2/10%, up 105 points. The Hang Seng up 1%, up 209. and the Shanghai really not getting out of bed. Hasn't gotten out of bed here for a few days. That was up 7 points. Our call-in number is always 877-927-6648. Let's go pick up our where we left off yesterday. We were taking a look at the ES Mini 30-minute chart out here. We were taking a look at the A to B equals CD patterns that is out there. We were taking a look at all the different levels. You see, if you're looking at TigerTV, what you're seeing as you're taking a look at my A to B equals CD, one-to-ones complete how often, folks? Those of you that have been listening know that a one-to-one A to B equals CD is going to complete 60% of the time. That leaves 40% of the time for an extension. An expansion, a Fibonacci expansion. That could be 1.272, 1.618. Might actually be 2.0, 2.618. And then you've got good old American Pi, 3.14, and so on and so on. Now, if we take a look here, we didn't see any bears show up to work yesterday. They actually were taking the day off. The first time we saw any bears, and it was really just a few folks, I guess they were striking yesterday. They came in at around 2:30. It was just a couple of them. They saw what the market was doing. They saw that there was a party, and the bears decided just simply to join in, move out, go home, do whatever they did because they really didn't show up yesterday after the A to B equals CD got up to the 1 to 2 level. Now, if you've got Tom's book, The Art of Timing the Trade, maybe his first book, maybe his actually his second book, or his very first book that's in the 3-ring binder out there, you'll know that when you do a 1 to 2 A to B equals CD, the market is usually going to do something different. It can either go sideways, which in this case here, because the market had gotten on the 30-minute chart into some overbought territory, pretty good overbought territory, the market had to do something. And what it did last night is it worked that off by simply pulling back slightly and just moving sideways. That's what it did. If we go back and we pull this chart back here, again, this is a 30-minute chart, and we start off with the highs, the most recent swing point high out here, goes back into that 11 o'clock time frame on Friday. I do remember this, Friday, October the 5th out there. If we go from that high down to a low that happened to be put in, I don't know how this happens, folks, but on New Moon Monday, down at the 1417, 1460, 1416, 50 level. If you just simply go from the high to the low out there, what you'll see is the ES Mini trading above the 0.618 level. That's 1447. Not really a whole lot of bears showing up for work here early for duty. That sets up at least the 1455 and change level. That would be the 0.786, but you can see you got 2.618. Of course, it's kind of hard to read, but it's the best I can do with the screen and with the technology that we have here. 1456 is a 1 to 2.618. Although it's not on this chart here, I don't believe it is, a 1 to pi will take you all the way back to 100% move, take you all the way back out to the highs that we see here that came in on Friday, October 5th. I suspect that is where the ES Mini wants to travel to right now. Just in the early stages before the market's open, you got the ES Mini just moving and working off just a little bit of that overbought area out there. That is what the 30-minute chart here is showing. The bears not showing up for work just yet. Could come in any time, though. Let's go take a look at the larger picture. Let's go take a look at the Dow. And when I mean larger picture, let's actually go take a look at the daily charts out here. As we take a look at the Dow futures, they are also headed into the swing point high of October 5th, the low of that level, 13,489. Yesterday, getting up to 13,487, stopping 2 points below a swing point. What has Tom taught us when you stop just a couple of points behind a swing point? Of course, this is the futures, and it was really trading all night as well. But it does say that you're going to go up there and you're going to tag that area. So that level on the futures being 13,489 all the way up to 13,000. We'll just call it 600 because it was 13,599, the high from October 5th. Now, there's absolutely some resistance up there. If we just simply take a line tool and just simply draw a horizontal line out here, that's the next one that I'll add. You can see that there is some resistance out here. So I suspect that we're going to see that resistance. And what we can see is we're getting into a pretty darn narrowed trading range. That trading range now being this horizontal resistance area. And we know where support is, don't we? It most certainly is this trend line. Last night, at about 8:50, we had the moon at perigee. That's when it was closest to us. So we had the new moon Who knows if it was the moon? It was something that certainly released the energy to the upside on Monday. And then you had perigee. That oftentimes also has an impact on the markets out there. I suspect that it will today. Maybe it's nothing more than a continuation and moving higher inside these markets out here. King dollar back 36 ticks. Let's go take a look at the King. Let's put the U.S. dollar index up on our chart here. What we're looking at here is the weekly chart. Forget about the daily chart. We can take a look at the daily chart. But this weekly chart, when I look at this, it absolutely looks nothing more than ugly. It's trading back inside a support swing point. Happens to be a bullish engulfing candle. That is on May 4th. That low, 78.67. I suspect that is where the King is going to move down to and at least test that area. 877-927-6648. Honesty is the best policy, isn't it, folks? Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be right back.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
With the launch of TigerTV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With TigerTV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on TigerTV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out TigerTV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
80% of traders fail because they don't know when to get in or out of a market, and all because no one taught them how to read the signs. You see, the stock market has a universal language called Japanese candlesticks, and each day, the buyers and sellers, the bulls and bears, go to work and build signs. This language has been around for thousands of years, and it's easy to learn. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Masters Show, and I'm a master sign builder. Download my free report, Candlesticks, The Speed of Trust, on the homepage of TFNN.com for one of the best-kept candlestick secrets. I'll also be conducting an online course Friday, October 19th, to teach you the language of the market's sign builders. You'll learn the best entry and exit techniques and strategies that will create extraordinary rewards. The course will be archived so you can review it as many times as you like, because trading or investing without learning this language is like running a red light. It's an accident waiting to happen, and there's no airbags or seatbelts. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Let's go take a look at some of these equities moving in the pre-market here. Let's start off with IBM. IBM out with earnings after the bell last night, missing top-line numbers. Revenue $24.75 billion versus $26.16 the prior year. Did net income of $3.8 billion. That's a beautiful thing, versus $3.84. So not missing it by a ton. Missing enough so that you've got IBM trading out at 202.29 right now. Yesterday, IBM had some volume in it, as was taking on a swing point here. If you go all the way back into the area of April 3rd, that swing point high, 210.69, 4 million shares. Yesterday, as price got up in there, got up with 5.6 million shares. You can see that this line here ends up being horizontal resistance out here. Has not been able to bust through. It's had some volume on the way up. We'll see what the volume is like as the air is let out of IBM's tire. It's trading out at the 202 level. Is going to take it really all the way back to the exact B point of an A to B equals CD. And that's the August 17th level. August 17th, there were 2.5 million shares. As IBM crossed through that B point, did it with 3.2 million shares. That was a confirmed A to B equals CD on IBM up to the 213 level. However, because of the small retracement that IBM had out there, IBM actually was moving to the 218 level. Of course, it's going to take a little time out here this morning. We'll see how this trades. You know, it's a great looking stock chart to look at. A great amount of technical information, like any stock chart. But if you just simply take a look at, and I'm really putting a huge amount of effort into this Friday's workshop that I'm doing. It's candlesticks, silent signals, the speed of trust, all the details on the homepage of TFNN.com. And I will tell you, just like, for Cervantes, Don Quixote was his maybe his best piece of work. You know, each time I do a workshop, I keep stepping that level up one notch. I thought buying and selling the D point, which is a incredible workshop, and it's something that everybody should see out there. Well, this candlestick workshop, this is an even better piece of work out there. We do take a look at IBM. Take a look at IBM as it came down into this open window, this gap up, this sign of strength out here that takes you all the way back to the January 19th, 2012 area. You can see IBM had gapped up on January 20th, did it with about 13 million shares. If we just simply draw this line over here, you can see that that is a strong area of support out here. IBM had moved down into that level, tested it July 12th. Did it with 4.9 million shares. Again, 4.9 going against 8 million shares out there. Not enough to bust it down. That is a strong level of support. Now we're seeing that we've got some pretty darn good resistance up here at the top as IBM continues to make its way up there. If it ever does bust through that area, folks, 218 is the number. That's where it wants to head to. We'll see again how it trades and what kind of volume comes out of the tires. If we take a look at other equities here in the market, Intuitive Surgical. So Intuitive Surgical, I don't know if I saw any news out. Let me see. Where's their earnings? Okay, net income, $183 million versus $122 million. That sounds pretty good. They did revenue $534 versus $446. They must just simply have a horrible guidance out there. Let's go take a look at the equity. Why? Because it's down $21, down about 4% in the pre-market here. So let's go take a look and see where Intuitive Surgical is trading down to. Intuitive Surgical, of course, getting back yesterday, had some pretty big volume in this thing, did 1.4 million shares. But this is coming into an open window on the way down. This gap down here, let's go take a look. I'm just going to draw the line across here. This gapping down with volume on July 19th. The low on July 19th was 540.01, was not able to make its way up there. Now, gap down here, it's interesting, with 1.5 million shares. Yesterday, sign of strength in there, 1.4 million shares as it was trying to close that window. Doesn't look like it's going to close just yet. Trading out right now, down 23 bucks, closed at 533, so that would make you 513. 513 is going to take you right down into just below where it opened yesterday. So you got a little bit of a sign of strength. You got a little gap here as well. We'll see if that gap is going to hold. If not, you'll see Intuitive Surgical come down at least to the last swing point, which is October 10th, out in the 489.60 level. Intel is well out with earnings. Intel trading off $1.04. That closed at 22.35 last night. As we round this out and take a look at Intel here, I'll try to do it before we go to break. Let's see, INTC is the ticker symbol. As I said, trading down a buck right now. So that's going to be 21.35. That's going to go back and test the swing point low from October the 12th. 877-927-6648. We get back, we'll go see how these markets are going to open.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. TFNN and Great Panther Silver have teamed up for another exciting silver giveaway. The Great Panther Silver Halloween giveaway will be taking place at the end of October, and for 3 full days, we'll be giving away silver coins and bars every hour from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. to one lucky winner randomly chosen. The There's no purchase necessary. For more information and to fill out your registration form today, simply visit the front page of TFNN.com where you'll find all the details. October 29th, 30th, and 31st, we'll choose one lucky winner that will receive a silver coin or bar courtesy of Great Panther Silver. Winners will be announced live on the air each hour for 3 full days. Don't miss out on this great opportunity to win free silver from TFNN and Great Panther Silver. Register today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com, and for more information on Great Panther Silver, you can click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex, symbol GPL, or on the Toronto Stock Exchange, symbol GPR.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're off to the races. We got the Dow off 44 points right now. S&P pretty much flat, down 70 cents. Composite down 12. Small caps leading the charge on the way up a buck, up about 113. Up about 0.1% out there. Microsoft down 38 ticks right now. Intel off 85 cents. Google off $3. Cisco down 30. Apple off $2. Leading the charge on the way up. Well, you got a buyout here, I believe, of Cymer Inc. They are a photo light source company. They are being acquired by ASML is going to acquire them. So they are having a nice morning here, up 60%, up $28 and change. You got M&T Bank Corp. MTB is a ticker symbol. They're up $3 and change. You've got CREE, CREE, up about 7%. That's up $2. United Rentals, URI, trading up a buck and change. Rio Tinto, up a buck and change. Owens Corning, OC, up. Rheology, I guess that's it. Rheology. RLGY. I probably should have just skipped it. Up 4% this morning. Dean Foods, DF, up 8%. To the downside, as we took a look at in the pre-market, Intuitive Surgical off about 1.5% here, now only down $8. So it is that sign of strength that we saw yesterday, that wide price spread. They're stepping in and gobbling it right up right now. IBM, that's what we've got up on our screen here, trading out at 201.25. It certainly does have volume in it this morning. We'll see how this trades here intraday. That IBM is off $9 and change. Checkpoint Software, CHKP, off about 9% this morning, down $4. Apollo Group off $4 and change. Fortinet, FTNT, also off $4. Google, as we said, down 3. F5 Networks off 4. VMware off $3 and change. Let's go take a look at some of these other equities here that we didn't look at. Let's take a look at Checkpoint Software. So that is the third leader to the downside this morning. CHKP is the ticker symbol. So let's go see what that is trading into. Gapping down this morning with volume, taking out its most recent swing point, taking out another swing point. So a set of swing points. This thing has been traveling in a sideways trading range here for a little bit of time. Checkpoint Software taking out the July 12th area. That had 3.3 million shares. Thus far, in just a few moments of trading here, 2 million shares to the downside. So let's go see where Checkpoint is headed to. Let's put this on it could be headed right here to this high volume bar to the downside. That would take it to about the $31 levels at 42 right now. But let's go put this on so that you can see this could be pretty serious for Checkpoint Software, because as we take a look at A to B equals CD down patterns here, it is really taking out the B point of a larger A to B equals CD. So we know it's got the volume. So for Checkpoint Software, holding 43.18 is very important. Is it 43.18? Let me make sure I got that number right. It is 43.18 from July 12th, trading at 42.80 right now. Let me put this on the weekly chart as well so we can take a look at a little bit longer term picture. So as we look at it, it'll be easier to draw the A to B equals CD possible setup if it takes out today's swing. Closes below. We know it's got volume, so if it closes below to where Checkpoint Software wants to run to, just on the A to B equals CD scale, is $30 and change. But it didn't do much of a retracement, so that would actually set up more like $24.24 out there. That would say that Checkpoint, at a minimum, wants to get down here. Here's where that high volume bar sticks out. So there's the $29.56 cent level. You've also got the swing points going back to July 2010. On a weekly basis here, the swing point has volume of 17 million shares. Through yesterday, did 5, but we know it's got some volume today. So that was on Checkpoint Software. Let's go take a look at also to the downside here. How about Stanley Black & Decker, SWK? They were out with earnings, I believe, before the bell or after the bell last night. Their stock is trading off this morning. Let's go see if there's any volume behind this move. No, well, I can't say no. Let's go take a look at it. So Stanley Black & Decker, actually, this is kind of a cool chart for us to look at. I'm going to just erase everything on the screen out here. Let's start over. Okay, so we got really two areas. This is great because we got two areas here on Stanley Black & Decker. We've got both a resistance area and a support level. What's being tested here this morning is the support level. It is the open gap that we've got out here. Stanley Black & Decker, let's draw the lines here where it had its most recent breakout. We're going to go take a look at that open window. That's the low of September 6th out there. I'm going to draw that line across here. You can see that's where it's traded down into. That level has held. If that holds here, we'll go see if we can find out what their numbers is. But there's really two levels of support on this. You don't know whether it's going to be the top of the gap or whether it's going to be where the gap began, that gap beginning on September the 5th out there. Volume-wise, gaps up with 2.9 million shares, but you also have this nice sign of strength here off of the bottom on July 18th. That had 6.5 million shares. You can see the following day you had some follow through with 4.7. So this level here has got some pretty darn good support in there. That is on Stanley Black & Decker. Volume so far this morning, 585,000 shares in the first 10 minutes of trading, going against that, I'm going to say here, the number that we would really use from a volume perspective is going to be that 4.8 million level back on July 19th. So we know where support is at on Stanley Black & Decker. Let's go find resistance because, you know, everything has a pattern. You've got a pattern. You wake up probably the same way, almost the same way every morning. The same rituals out there. Well, stocks have rituals and patterns as well. And if we take a look at the open window, that is going to be now the resistance area inside this equity. Let's put a black line on there so we'll differentiate it. You can see here gapping down on April the 18th, 2012. Closes out, gets to a low of 78.23, closes at 78.49. Next day, gapping down with 11 million shares. That is the high volume bar out there. But you can see as the Stanley Black & Decker got up into that level, rejected it, took a couple of days here to totally reject that price. So now we've got an area here of resistance inside Stanley Black & Decker. It looks to me like what this is doing is setting up a trading range. It's near the bottom of its trading range right now in that 69 level. The top of that trading range now being the $78 range, Stanley Black & Decker. Could be a trade there. You'd want to make sure you'd have the right risk management in place. Let's go take a look at what else is moving in the markets. How about percentage-wise on the way up? You've got Cree Inc., C-R-E-E. So let's go take a look at that equity. Percentage-wise, that's up about 8% here this morning. So let's go see if there's any volume behind that and what it's trading into. Gapping up, going ahead and tackling its swing point here. So let's go take a look at Cree. It's going after the swing point here of September 14th. The high there is 29.47. It's at 28.21 right now, gapping up into it. Has some decent volume. So far about 1 million shares here going into the swing point that only has 2 million shares. So it being only, 12 minutes into the trading session, it's got the volume. So what is stopping it in its place? It's this little supply line right back here. That supply line is where the equity moved down, had an open window out there that also has not been fixed. What I mean by that is let's go take a look at the top of that window. So this equity here gaps down on May 22nd, 2012. You can see the night before, the high out there was 29.17. As we take our line and go across here, what that is creating is It's creating a resistance area. You can see as this equity got up into that level, first time it attempted it was on August 21st, 1.3 million shares. Couldn't get all the way up there. It tried to. That was going against 2.7 million shares. Remember, this thing gaps down. the following day with 10 million shares. Then, what does it do? It gets up there on September 14th with another 2 million shares, gets rejected, moves back down. As far as a retracement level, looks like it just does a normal retracement coming off of this little hammer candle down here on July 23rd, all the way up to the up to the high. And you can see sweet 618 comes right down to the 618 level, which is 2501. Actually, the low that it gets so far in this area of trading ever since the level, when it came off of its lows, gets down to a low of 2450, closes out at 2483 at 2501, sweet 618. That is a beautiful thing out there. So what we do know about this equity here is that it's going to run into a resistance area here as it approaches these highs in the $29 and change level. This area of resistance still intact until you get a close above $29.17. You get a close above $29.17, and this equity here will make its run up to $33.45. That is on CRE. Let's go take a look at, which way should we go here? Let's see, percentage-wise on the way down. That's what we should do. So let's go take, that would be Fortinet, FTNT. That's down about 17% this morning. So FTNT, we'll do that. Then we'll go take a look at currency. Let's go take a spin around the world and see what the Queen is doing over there, because I do believe the Queen is also going to be tackling her swing point highs. We're talking about the euro. Fortinet here gapping down this morning, coming down with volume, 3.2 million shares thus far, coming into a set of swing points here. The swing point it's really tackling is June 4th, an important swing point here in this equity. Only 2 million shares there. So it's got the volume to bust through that. This has broken in a B point. The B point happened to be the swing point from October the 4th here. So now as we take a look at A to B equals CD down on this, very interesting. As we take a look at the A to B equals CD down on this, Schultze used to say very interesting, didn't he? So I'll just keep you in suspense, what I thought was very interesting when I looked at the chart. So let's take a look at the A to B equals CD down here. This would take Fortinet, FTNT, the 1-to-1 takes you to 1960. Well, that would make a lot of sense because, one, you'd be testing the swing point low, June 4th. You get a close below that. Really, it looks like this equity wants to get down to 1812. Let's put this, the War of 1812. Let's go take a look at the weekly chart on this thing here. And so we can see, taking on the week of June 8th, that has 11 million shares. It's going to have more than that this week, for sure. So on the weekly chart here, looks more like a consolidation, which would take you down into the $15.78 level. Your next area of support out here is going to be 1815. You're trading inside that swing point. That swing point has 15 million shares. I suspect that is really where this equity wants to head. That was on Fortinet. Let's go take a look at what else is some kind of. Oh, I said we're going to look at the euro. So I need to be a man of my word, right? The truth will set you free. Let's go take a look at the euro out here. See what the Queen is doing. She is trading inside her swing point. A little bit of an area of resistance. That is inside the September 17th level. Below there, 1.30824. It's trading at 131, 143 out there. The high of that swing point, 131.706. That is where the euro is headed to. This has walked the line of support and walked it well ever since it broke that neckline support on September the 7th out there, as it made its 1.618 butterfly sell pattern. In fact, let's go. Oh, I already have it on the screen. We don't have to go do anywhere. If we take a look at the retracement off of that butterfly, folks, that's not a retracement at all. That never even made it to the 0.382 level. That never made it to just simply the dead cat bounce level of a butterfly sell pattern out there. Something to think about. So it's going to go ahead, and what does that mean? Well, that means the euro actually is weak as we think it is. I can tell you, take a look at this stock chart, you throw away the symbol out there, and you would say, boy, that is a strong-looking equity out there. So what you got to do is you got to get your head out of the game and not worry about what it is that you've got up on the screen as far as symbols, equity symbols, currency symbols. Just pay attention to the charts. Turn off the news and the noise out there and just look at the charts, because that is what will absolutely set you free out there. That's what's putting the kibosh on the king, with the U.S. dollar index right now trading down, let's see here, 36 points. You've got gold holding its own down at 20 cents. So let's go take a look at gold out here. Let's go take a look at the daily chart on gold. Gold trying to pull back to its, looks like its 50-day exponential moving average. If we take a look at the same thing here in gold, from the lows that were established, that would be the swing point out here on May the 16th, all the way to the high that it made on October the 5th, you'll see that gold has not even made its way down to the 0.382 level. That would be 1694. Says gold is still pretty strong out here. Yesterday, doing 172,000 contracts as it was moving higher, going against 130,000 contracts on the way down on October 15th out there. No matter what. So even though we got King Dollar moving back, they are not giving up on gold out here. And gold has worked out. This is the daily chart. The gold has absolutely worked off its overbought condition out here. So it is free to move higher, fly higher. Whatever it is that, it's not Spirit, it's, what's that other airline, the cattle herder out there, I can't remember their name. It's just having a little brain contusion there. If we take a look at silver out here, silver pulling back into the, what do we have out here, into the 50-day moving average as well. Silver not giving up the ghost yet. If you take a look at from the swing point low to the high, silver also not backing up to the 0.382. We'll be right back, folks.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments. And whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil's subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to check out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, Then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern on TFNN.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
Catch Tom O'Brien and Steve Rhodes as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. The Money Masters, next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. We got the Dow trading off 32 points right now. S&P's barely flat, up a point. The composite down 4. Small caps and the New York Stock Exchange, nose for nose on the way up. Both of them up 0.3%. Something to think about. Why? Because the small caps, Russell 2000, has been the weak link out there. Trading up this morning, and you got the New York Stock Exchange up 25 points as well. I've got bonds here. 30-year Treasury bond on my screen. We are taking a look at the two different trend lines that I've drawn up here. We've got the ascending trend line. We've got the descending trend line. That is holding bonds in place out there. Bonds making up to the top of that level, doing that on the 12th of October, and then getting a rejection. Now headed down to the bottom of that rising trend line. Where's that price going to be? Probably around the 146, 130 area, 146 and change is what we're going to call it. But looks to me like that is where bonds are headed to. And seems to me like bonds are going to just simply stay in this narrow trading range here all the way through the early part of December. Let's go take a look at some of the ETFs out here. Let's go take a look at the let's start off by taking a look at the SPYs here, see what the SPYs actually did. The SPYs yesterday moving up with 108 million shares, coming down into the downdraft of 148, taking on that candle from October 9th. The high out there, 145.65. It's trading at 145.70 right now. Really just simply trying to get into the October 5th level. That October 5th level has 124 million shares. As I said yesterday on the way up, 108 million shares. It's going to need a little bit more juice. But look for the SPYs to make their way to crawl up into that 147.16 mark. Let's go take a look at the small caps. As I said, the small caps and the New York Stock Exchange, the leaders in the clubhouse at the moment. So as we take a look at the Russell really taking on the October 9th downdraft swing point that it, not swing point, a downdraft candle that it has, 45 million shares. The top of that was 83.70 yesterday, moving up with only 29 million shares. Going to need some juice today. It looks like, let's see here, 4.95 million shares in the first half hour of trading. So if I do my math correctly, that says that the small caps have volume in them today. In fact, enough volume to more than take on the 40 million shares on that October 5th swing point. The low there, 83.84, the high of 85.25. You may say, Steve, where is it going to? I'm glad you asked me that question. Well, we just took a look at the 30-year Treasury, right? And we drew what? We drew a descending tops line. That is what it looks like on the small caps. I suspect that is where the small caps, the IWM, is headed to. We'll see what happens when it gets up to that descending trend line out there. Stay tuned. Tom and I will be up next. It is Wonderful Wednesday. That means that we go up to Basil Chapman from 11 to 12. Daryl Martin will be with us from 1 to 2. Ken Shreve, 3 to 4. The Tom O'Brien Show from 4 to 6 out there. Let's go take a look here at the Qs, because that has also been a weak link out here. But the weakest of all the links really speaking this morning. So we got the strength, which has been the Dow, and that's fighting its way back and clawing its way back to positive. Mostly down because of IBM. If we take a look at the Qs yesterday showed some strength, 33 million shares. Of course, that strength going into 67 million shares. So I guess maybe only half the strength out there. However, today, so far the Qs doing 7.5 million shares. That would make some pretty decent volume here today. That'd be enough volume if it could keep up this pace with the October 9th downdraft. Folks, stay tuned. Tom and I'll be up next. If you are off to start your day, have a miraculous Wednesday, and I look forward to seeing you in the morning. If not, we'll see you in about 8 minutes. Take care.